the party of Sir Alexander Bustamante, the party of Sir Donald Byrne Sangster, the party of Hugh Lawson Shearer, the party of Edward Philip George Siaga, the party of Bruce Harriet Golding. Let's welcome Prime Minister, leader of the Jamaica Labour Party Conference. Let's stand and welcome Michael Andrew Holness.
Here he comes, Prime Minister Andrew Holness. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow him all the days of his life. And opposition will know that there's been a change of plan. And there comes a day when they will say, you do the best you can. Oh, yes, that's right. Oh, yes. One more time. Oh.
I don't know why the conference chairman seems so inclined to change my name. But I can understand. Thank you, conference chairman, party chairman, general secretary, trustees, and other candidates of the party assembled on stage. I want to thank you all for your leadership. And for your sacrifices to this great organization and to our democratic political process at all levels. Let me acknowledge our specially invited guests from the diplomatic corps. Jamaica believes in a multilateral system. And we value our international friendships and partnerships. We continue to be a practical and balancing voice regionally and globally, playing critical roles in various negotiations, disaster response, and security cooperation, ensuring that Jamaica and the Caribbean region remain a region of peace. I want to highlight the work of our Minister of Foreign Affairs, Kamina Johnson-Smith, who has been a very active and widely acknowledged player in critical roles and fora on the international stage. An integral part of our foreign affairs is the relationship with our diaspora. During the pandemic, our diaspora, your family members overseas, played a critical role in supporting Jamaica's foreign exchange through remittances. And I want to publicly thank them for their support. I know there are many members of the diaspora who are watching us, watching our conference. Some are very well connected to Jamaica. So they understand the context, they understand the issues that are happening here. But others, you know, they hear the news. They are not so connected. And so they have a limited context about Jamaica. And so they may form negative opinions of Jamaica. I want to say to our extended family overseas that Jamaica, and this is a message that is relevant to Jamaicans here as well, that Jamaica is going through a period of repair, recovery, and transition. Yes, a period of repair, recovery, and transition from the destruction of the decade of the 70s, which caused the greatest post-independence flight of talent, skill, and enterprise from our shores. This transition and recovery is happening within the context of a liberal democracy, a strong two-party system, and in the era of social media. So the transition, the recovery, can look chaotic. But I want to assure you that with the Jamaica Labour Party leading this transition and recovery, it will be done in an orderly, fair, equitable, and efficient manner. There is a story which is not often told. A new Jamaica is emerging. A new political order is emerging. I've been coming to conference for over 20 years. And those of you who have been coming to Jamaica Labour Party conferences, you can be witnesses. You are witnesses to the change in the way in which the Jamaica Labour Party has conducted its political affairs and its governance affairs. You are seeing the change right in front of your eyes. You are seeing the order and the organization. You are seeing the discipline. And that is not just within the party, it is translating into your government and how we operate. There is a good story to be told. But the algorithms of social media are not going to push those stories to your devices. There are those who are vested in only telling you the bad news. There are those who go out of their way to create false narratives. There are those who go out of their way to plan protests and demonstration and try to pass them off as organic, and the people see right through it. But as I said, there are those who may not be sufficiently seized of the context of the country. and they may walk away with a negative perception. They might leave the conversation feeling that something is wrong. Right across the world, this is happening, not just in Jamaica. In the United States, the ambassador of the United States is here. All over, we see in liberal democracies these kinds of things emerging. But I want to reassure our family members in the diaspora and Jamaicans who may not be sufficiently connected with the context here that the Jamaica Labour Party is in charge, that the Jamaica Labour Party is ensuring order in the society, that the changes that have to be made will be made. And we will tell our story, because we can't depend on anyone else to tell our story. The Jamaican economy is fiscally sound. No new taxes on the backs of the Jamaican people since the Jamaica Labour Party administration has come into power.
Excuse me, the pagans, and we bring hope to Jamaicans. Highways and roads for we stay on. Farmers now have pension. Pay tablet for Jamaican.
That story is not told. We don't hear it. We must say it. And when you go back into your communities, you must be the ambassador of our good news. Our national debt is going down. Going down. We are the only country in this region that can say that after COVID, our debt is trending downward. That's a good news story that must be shouted from every hilltop. But you don't hear that said often enough. What does that mean, that our debt is going down? It means we have more financial space to spend on the people of the country. Our unemployment rate is the lowest it has been in the history of Jamaica. You don't hear that being said often enough. In the history of Jamaica. What does that mean? It means we are absorbing all the labor who want to work. It also means some other things, like some industries can't find people to work. A problem, but a good problem to have, because there are many Jamaican youths who are outside of the labor force, who don't want to work, who believe that chopping and scraping out their hand middle will get them a livelihood. We want to bring them into the labor force. Our economy is still reporting growth even after the disruption of production because of COVID. So I want all Jamaicans to know, including our family in the diaspora, that Jamaica is doing well. Our objective is to fulfill Vision 2030. And I believe it will happen in my lifetime and your lifetime. that Jamaica will become the place where you choose to live, work, raise your families, do business, and retire in paradise. Jamaica will be the place of choice. I look forward to repairing the brain drain of the 70s. I look forward to ushering in an era where Jamaicans overseas will choose to return to Jamaica to make their investments in Jamaica. The conditions are not all right now. And it is not something that the government can artificially dictate. The conditions have to emerge and be sustainable. But it is happening. There are many Jamaicans overseas who are investing in Jamaica by buying their second homes in Jamaica. Many Jamaicans are doing that. And there are many Jamaicans overseas who are investing in our stock market. So it is happening, but we want it to happen on a much larger scale, where the talents and the skills that left us in the 70s can come back to Jamaica, feel safe, feel secure, feel a part of the society, so that they can contribute to further building Jamaica land we all love. As I survey the audience, I feel so proud. I feel so proud when I look at you. And I am humbled to be given the privilege to be your leader.
Woman alone me give me love. My love. Yet is a medicine I got up when me done me don't get up. My love.
I don't take it for granted. No, I don't take it for granted that you have traveled from all ends of Jamaica. Some of you have come on buses, some of you chartered your cars, some of you took your own transport, paid your own way to get here. I don't take it for granted. It means a lot to me that you would take your time to come. Everyone here is a symbol of the strength of the Jamaica Labour Party. All of you represent the strength of the Jamaica Labour Party. Sometimes the party gets quiet. And that is because we are keeping our heads down and we are doing the business of government. Sometimes we don't respond to the manufactured false stories, the politically organized protests, and the biased commentary parading as independent thought. This can create a sense of chaos for the average person looking on. It may even be interpreted as a sign of political weakness. However, when they see you gathered like this, in the numbers that you are gathered here today, with the energy and vibrancy and discipline and order and attentiveness, then they have to think again. Labour Party is strong, not only at the ministerial and government level, but we are strong in the grassroots of this country. We have deep and strong political roots in every community in this country. It shows that there is strong support for our policies and programs. Now watch the noise in the market. Watch the political votes that go into the box. The Jamaica Labour Party, of which you are a part, has grown itself, and it is transforming itself. I want you to listen to me carefully. The core of the party remains the working class masses of the country. That is the core of our political organization. And they continue to be our ultimate focus. But what is this focus? What is the purpose of focusing on the working class? The mission of the Jamaica Labour Party is to lift people out of poverty, to lift people up. To improve quality of life, to create opportunities, to create prosperity. We want to move people out of the working class and into the middle classes of the country. I have never said it this way before, but I am deliberately using these phrases because we have shied away from acknowledging that we need to grow our middle class. And how we get that? By lifting people up, by giving them opportunities. The average Jamaican believes that. They don't understand it in the way that I've said it. But anytime you hear a Jamaican say, "Me want to step up in a life," that is what they mean. The objective of the Jamaica Labour Party is to help you step up in a life. We are the party of every ambitious Jamaican who wants to gain employment and the independence of income. Therefore, we create jobs, and we have created more jobs than ever in the history of this country. That is why we raised the income tax threshold to 1.5 million. That's why we reduced GCT by 1.5%. We are the party that believes in putting more money through income into your hands so that you can decide how you spend it to achieve your prosperity. We are the party of every Jamaican who legitimately wants to own a home. That's why we are building more houses than any other government in the history of Jamaica. And we will shortly be announcing a program that will see Jamaicans getting access to properly planned lands, not through squatting, not through irregular settlements, but to pay Jamaicans the decency and the dignity to give them access to lands. We are the party of every enterprising Jamaican who wants to establish business. This government has been supporting MSMEs through the DBJ. And it is no wonder that we are seeing more companies being registered under this administration than any administration before. People are seeing the opportunities to create their own business. Our founding philosophy has long understood that there must be harmonious partnership between labor and capital. We believe in working together to grow the economy, to grow the economic pie. Other people believe in fighting over the small economic pie, thereby creating social conflict. That's not what we believe in. We believe in the factors of production, labor and capital, working together to grow the economic pie. We are seeing the signs of growth, and there are dividends to be reaped from the public-private partnership, from the labor and capital partnership. I want to tell you, it's now in the open, that this administration decided to undertake a comprehensive compensation review for the public service. It is an unprecedented realignment of remuneration for the public sector. Never been done before. But this is part of our philosophy of looking out for the working class, for giving them more income in their hands so that they can determine how to spend it. The process is well underway. Significant progress is being made. Several major public sector groups have signed. And at this juncture, I want to acknowledge the work of the Minister of Finance, Dr. Nigel Clark, and the various union leaders who have managed the process to get it to this point of success. These are very complex undertakings. But when the process is complete, it will represent a fundamental improvement in the public sector compensation system with greater clarity, equity, and efficiency. It will assist in attracting and retaining talent in the public sector, which is necessary for a more productive partnership between the public sector and the private sector to further grow our economic pie. However, the party today represents a much broader coalition of interests and demographics. We have more young people in our party today than ever before. We have more women in our party today than ever before. We have representation in our party that is wide and diverse. A wide and diverse slate of issues. Sometimes, if you could be in the cabinet room to hear the varying perspectives, positions, and interests being expressed, you can truly say that all of Jamaica is represented in the Jamaica Labour Party. Whether it is religious views or secular views, it is in the Jamaica Labour Party. Whether it is climate change and the protection of the environment, it is firmly rooted in the Jamaica Labour Party. Whether it is human rights and civil liberties, it is firmly rooted in the Jamaica Labour Party. We are a big tent party now. But what does this mean if the nature of the party has changed? It is not just a party about labor. It deals with all issues, economic and social, from differing perspectives. What does that mean for how we must operate and manage this change? First and foremost, the members of the party must be respectful of each other and be tolerant of different views. And that's how I run the party. I allow a competition of ideas, and the best ideas win. Sometimes, my friends, I hear the cry of members of the party that when we are in power, we don't look out for the members of the party. And I've heard it over and over again. I believe that the party needs to do more in creating structures to treat with the welfare of our workers. For the 80th anniversary, which is next year, the Scholarship Committee of the Jamaica Labour Party will allocate 2 bursaries to children of workers of the party in each constituency. And we will be launching a health fund which will seek to assist senior workers of the party who find themselves in a health crisis. However, I want every member of the party to listen carefully to what I am about to say. The Jamaica Labour Party must not be seen as a mechanism for the distribution or access to scarce state resources. Don't join the Labour Party because you believe it is going to become a route to get access to state resources. The mission of the Jamaica Labour Party is to create the condition for every Jamaican to be economically independent and prosperous. When we allow the party to be used as a route to state resources, this is when allegations of corruption are leveled against us and we lose the confidence and trust of the people. I said it to the leadership of the party at the private session, and I now say it to the General Conference. The Jamaica Labour Party must be the good stewards of the public resources. We must be the biblical good stewards of the talents, resources, and wealth of the people of Jamaica. They must have confidence in us. I cannot use stronger language. Every member of the Jamaica Labour Party must recommit themselves to this. We are the good stewards of the people's resources. Despite the changing and diverse nature of the Jamaica Labour Party, there is a constant and common thread that keeps us all together. We are the party of law and order. We will never bow to any group that seeks to pressure us for causes that are unlawful, disorderly, or not in the public's interest. Laborites by nature do not like disorder. By nature, because of what we believe in. We have never accepted as normal the murder rate of over 1,000 persons each year in a free and democratic society. We believe that such high murder rates are a threat to the freedom and democracy of the society, and that the existence of such high rates of murder demonstrably justifies the use of emergency powers to protect the right to life of the law-abiding citizens from the lawless and marauding few in our society. We see the current levels of murder as an emergency, and we invite the opposition to share this perspective in having the recently declared state of public emergency extended. Your party is not solely relying on emergency powers to control murders. We have passed a new Firearms Act, which has changed the risk-reward of possessing, trafficking, storing, or using an illegal firearm by introducing a minimum sentencing regime of 15 years to possible life in prison. The amnesty which accompanied the act came to an end midnight last. I am told that over 90 weapons were turned in with over 2,500 rounds of ammunition. Let me tell you, this surprised me. I didn't expect so many. But there are still thousands of illegal guns all across Jamaica. We went out of our way to give the amnesty and to give warnings. They did not heed it. Well, you know the Jamaican saying, if you can't hear, you will feel.
Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do?
Before I came, I just got a note from the police that they conducted a snap raid at 2 locations and they found a firearm and arrested 4 persons. The strategy of the police and the military will change. There are those who believe that we are only searching for firearms. No. Taking the firearm, discovering it without finding the person who brought it in or who is using it is not enough. We are going to be conducting searches, and we want to find the people who are importing, the people who are locking, the people who are distributing, and the people who are shooting the firearms. We want to lock you up for good. The police are now intensifying their search. Yesterday, 4 murders occurred in Jamaica. 4. 1 was by the gun. 3 by stabbings. Already, the measures are having an impact. I call upon every well-thinking Jamaican, support the fight against illegal weapons. We will be making lucrative rewards for persons who give us information for the recovery of illegal firearms and the arrest of those persons responsible for them. But that's not the only thing. There are several loopholes in our system which we will be closing. We have been engaging with our U.S. counterparts in discussions on further measures that could be taken to stem the flow of illegal guns into Jamaica. The discussions have focused on greater security measures at our ports, Ambassador, including securing more scanners. I have put to our U.S. friends the need to require greater identification for persons sending packages to Jamaica from the U.S. We will also be opening discussions with our U.S. friends to have special operations to target Jamaican dons overseas who are using their resources and influence to solicit and direct murders here in Jamaica. For too long, foreign dons have been able to get away with this. We are going to ensure that they can no longer stay in another country and direct crime here. Personally, I think it is a shame that someone who got the opportunity to migrate would use that opportunity to seek to make their community a living hell for the people they have left behind. Instead of sending back computers and assisting with school fees, they are sending guns and bullets to encourage you to kill your brothers and sisters. They mean us no good. They must be arrested and locked away for good. We will put a stop to this. It is not only criminals overseas that are remotely programming crime and murders locally. In our local prisons, criminals are conducting extortion operations and directing murders right out of our prisons. We have designed a new high security prison. It has been on the books for some time, but we just didn't finalize the plans and the cost. I have given instructions that the high security facility with a communications dead spot be built as a project of strategic national interest. This means that we will have a prison with a communication dead spot that we can put our high-valued criminals in terms, they are not high-value, they are no value. But our high-risk criminals, we can put them in facilities where they cannot influence crime and murders outside of the facility. Technology can only guarantee security to a point. If the persons charged with guarding the convicts and criminals collaborate with them, then the problem will still exist. We have had issues of the personnel guarding our prisons cooperating with the criminals to give them phones and other communication devices. And we have made some slight changes to the Corrections Act. But we plan to come now with a new corrections bill that will have in it custodial penalties for persons who are charged with the responsibility of securing the criminals and preventing them from having access to the outside world, to give them stiffer custodial penalties for facilitating the criminals in the prison. We have a new bail act coming. But, you know, that's good. That will give clarity to the process of bail. But the one that I want you to pay attention to is the Enhanced Security Measures Bill that we are advanced in developing. This bill will be a state of emergency on criminals. It will have the development of a watch list for criminals. It will have special orders for detention for criminals. And it will have the imposition of control orders on the activities of criminals. These will give the police standing powers to treat with some of our more dangerous and insidious criminals to ensure that we can bring order and peace to our society. We intend to have this bill before Parliament in the next fiscal year. I want to quickly turn now to education. You know, all the big problems that Jamaica face, this Jamaica Labour Party government has found the political and governance wherewithal to put in place the plans to treat with them. All of them. So we have completed the task force report, the Commission's report on transforming education. We implemented an oversight committee to ensure that the recommendations are implemented. They are now at the phase of finding the staff to carry out the implementation. They have interviewed for a chief transformation officer, and very soon they will employ that person, and that person will now have charge of carrying through the transformation. What it means? It means that your children will have the 21st century education necessary to ensure that they can compete anywhere in the world, that they have the skills and the functions necessary to be productive citizens. We are going to build 7 modern schools that will focus on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We want your children to have the skills of the future. We will be building 1 school in the West. This is not a college-level school. This is a high school where our children who display from an early age natural creative talent, those talent can be taken, those kids can be taken and their talent groomed along with their academic work. These schools will help in taking our kids off shift. We will have 2 in every county, and they won't be small schools. They will be large-sized schools, up to 2,500 students, and they will be managed with the latest technology and the best management know-how in the education system. I want to talk quickly about health. On a daily basis, I get complaints about the health sector. And these complaints are justified. They complain about space, they complain about care, and they complain about equipment and services. But I want to put a context to you. We have not built a hospital in this country for over 25 years. the level of investment that is required to provide the health service that you need, successive governments have not made the investment. But this government has. We are building new hospitals, new clinics. We are expanding services. And during the COVID-19 pandemic, our health system did not collapse. It came under significant stress, but it stood up. I want to acknowledge the work of Dr. Christopher Tufton in the Ministry of Health. Last thing I want to talk about. You have been such a good audience. I'm in flight, but I'm going to land now. The last thing I want to talk about are our roads, the state of roads in the country. In the recent supplementary budget that was tabled, the government allocated close to $4 billion to deal with urgent and emergency repairs of roads. This will not be enough, but we hear the cries of the people in the rural communities who feel that their roadways have been neglected. You know me already. I am not one to pretty up things. I'm going to tell you as it is. Jamaica has more roads per square mile than most other countries. At one time, we were number 2 in the world. We are about number 4 or 5 now. We have a whole heap of roads. And everyone expects that the road must be asphalted to a certain condition. Let me bring to your attention that the number of roads that we have, maybe only 10% of them have been maintained from the time that they were constructed to standards that would allow them to stand up to the traffic that they take. What does that mean? The roads in your communities, many of them were constructed 50 years ago. No maintenance was done to them, maybe a little patching. But everybody now wants at one time that the government must find the resources to fix all these roads. It's not possible. And by the way, while I was preparing for this speech, I came across a budget presentation of a former Prime Minister in 1994. And you know what? He was making the same point about roads. This is not a problem that emerged overnight, but people want to take it and turn it into a political problem. Don't turn our roadways into a political football. We will make the allocations in this budget and in the budget to come to make repairs and improvements to local and secondary roads as far as we can. But you will also notice that we are making the investments in the highways. St. Thomas in the east. A parish that spawned our self-government. Well, it took back self-government, but gave it back after a while. But St. Thomas, the rebellion, made the colonial masters then start to pay attention to the conditions in Jamaica. And from then, St. Thomas was treated like the forgotten parish. I remember in 2016 having a Prosperity Live meeting in St. Thomas, and a young man stood up in the meeting and said, Prime Minister, I'm paraphrasing him now, we want to feel like we're in the modernity now, like we are a part of modern times. We don't have no Kentucky and we don't have no stoplight. That was his perspective of being in modern times. Of course, we understand what he was trying to communicate. We have made the investment not just to put blacktop on a mall surface. We are building roads that can withstand these strange weather events of climate change. We are building roads that have water mains running under them. We are building roads with fiber optic capabilities in them. We are building roads that have drains in them. And we are not just building roads to nowhere. We are building town centers that can become the economic center of activity. But I see people demonstrating against their own development. I urge you, pardon your progress. The last thing I will talk to you about today is the chaos in our townships. As I drive around the country, whether it is Linstead that I visited a couple days ago, Maypen, Black River, Santa Cruz, Hopewell, and my own town, Spanish Town. It is all chaos and mayhem. I see the police doing their best, trying to manage traffic and manage public order. But I believe you now recognize that the parish capitals and townships which were established 100 years ago cannot carry the level of traffic and commerce that they have to deal with now. This government will launch a comprehensive program of redeveloping our parish capitals and rural townships. We will make them drivable. We will make them walkable. We will restore their historic assets. We will ensure that people can feel proud, safe, and secure in these areas. We will ensure that these areas become centers of economic activity. And we will ensure that we collect the garbage, the municipal waste in these townships. The pandemic affected us badly. The country is almost back to normal. Everybody forget, we had a pandemic. The impact of the pandemic was that we had to divert resources into health to make sure we could keep people healthy. and into social welfare so that we could keep people with income. It also meant that we were not able to purchase the 100 garbage compactors that we had ordered. As we return to normal, we will fulfill that commitment in addition to the other demands for roads and security. 50 garbage trucks landed in Jamaica a few days ago, and they will be dispatched all around Jamaica. We are the Green Party, so we must protect the environment. We are the Green Party. We must keep the environment clean. So as I close, I urge all of you who are gathered here to take back what you have heard, that your party is working, that we are not afraid to tackle the big issues, that we continue to build partnerships to deal with the challenges of the country, and that together we will make it happen. Together we will make our recovery stronger. Labor rights, I love you. You are my family. You make me stronger. God bless you until I see you at conference in our 80th year. Love you.
From Jamaica to the Caribbean.
Labor rights, let's have it for Andrew Holness, Prime Minister. You know, if you love what Andrew Holness say, go on, Andrew. Go on, Andrew. You make me stronger.
Make me stronger.
Labor rights across the arena.
Oh, you make me stronger.
Let me see you wave your fingers.
Watch me. You make me stronger. Oh, come on. Say, you make me stronger. I lift my spirit. Lord, I take your hand. You fix my focus. No, I know who I am.